Hello. Hello. What have you done in there, girlies? What have you done? Did you knock something over? Hi. Hi, Rosie. Come on. Hi, Blossom. Come on. Come on, eat your grains. Hello. Hi, Goldie. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Coco. What happened in here? Now, it's always said early bird catches the worm, but with this cold, if I don't feed those little things, they're not going to catch anything. The ground is totally frozen. Well, hello and welcome. I'm back in my own garden. It's so nice to be out here. Obviously, I'm still hiding inside the greenhouse at this moment, but it's really nice to be just outdoors and knowing I'm not in cold environment, because inside here is so warm. Well, this was quite a frosty start to the day, and obviously I get up quite early in the morning anyway, because I let the hens out. I give them their feed, and I could see obviously everything was just pure white from the frost, and then putting out bird food, wild bird food as well, because I always think of them when it is these kind of a colder weather days. I don't continuously feed them, even though it's recommended that you would do, but the climate is so mild and they would have plenty of food outside. There's plenty of areas to forage. It's just when it is that frosty that I definitely would put the food out, and they come so fast. They just know the food is there. It's in a very sort of localized area for them, that they always pass those couple of birch trees anyway, so they always find it quickly, but they are not dependent on it. Now, January and February are probably sort of funny months. I don't necessarily do a lot of gardening those months, and I definitely did even less before I got the greenhouse. So out of all the different, I suppose, investments, this has been the best investment. So I know it's too late for like Scenty lists, and but never maybe for the New Year's resolution to get a greenhouse, polytunnel, glass house, anything like that. Any kind of growing space that when your weather is undependable, you do have a space to come into. Because for me to be able to come out here and with this sunny day now, having the sun shining on it, obviously you're gathering your vitamin D as well from it, but at least I have a place to come to, as otherwise if the weather was as it was outside in the garden, I could not spend any time in it. It's pointless. There's nothing to do. Everything's frozen. Now, this is few hours down the line from it being frozen. I did a few household chores beforehand, because obviously even inside the greenhouse it was minus temperatures. But once the sun comes out any bit and the doors are closed in here, it went over 20 degrees so fast. So I have 3 doors still closed, 1 open, and it is 19.8 degrees Celsius. So it's a really warm environment to be in. Now, even straight away in the morning, obviously, I wanted to check how the plants were doing, because we were not forecast that low of a temperature or that big of a temperature drop, and I had nothing covered inside here. I just thought that if it goes to, let's say, -1, outside everything will be absolutely fine, and inside here would be just that tiny bit, hopefully, warmer as well. So they'll be surviving absolutely fine as well. But obviously it got colder and I had nothing covered, but everything has survived. And even I'll show you the difference between how the cabbages, the spring cabbages and the kale look like from when I opened the doors here this morning. So all is well. So as you see, what a difference between once the frost had nipped them and now. But today's plan I have is to harvest outside a couple of Brussels sprouts and potatoes. I need to get a bucket of potatoes out to have some potatoes for us to eat for the week. And otherwise I'm also going to be sowing some seed. I have some red onion, because now is the time to sow onions. There's still time, but January usually is the time to sow onions. So I have some red Arran onion here. I have some winter salads as well, because I really didn't sow that much this season because of me changing around inside the greenhouse here. And then between month of November and December, it's just so busy and it's very dark outside. So, but I'm going to catch up. So I'm going to do some winter salads and a bit of mustard as well. So these are cold hardy salad mixes: lamb's lettuce, corn salad, well known for their cold hardiness, obviously mustards, and then there's winter lettuce violon as well. So they're good. They don't actually do well at all during the summer because they would bolt. So they're meant for winter. And I have some kale as well, just to keep up with that. And then my Comfrey cuttings delivery did arrive, and it's been sitting in my fridge all along. So I do want to pot them up as well. So that's another plan. They're root cuttings from Bucking 14. So this is a sterile variety of Comfrey. Does not set seed, so it doesn't spray it as easily as the standard variety would, but it can be still divided or propagated by root cutting, so but I do want to just plant them up as well. Well, pot them up, so just put them in the pots so it can start growing or putting out roots, and at least I don't have to worry about them sitting in my fridge any longer, and then I'm potentially forgetting about them, so which is so possible, so realistic situation to happen. Another thing I was hoping to get done at the time when I was planting my tulip bulbs was actually just to pot up my allium bulbs as well. Not that I wanted to put them out for display or anything, but I do want to have them in smaller pots for the first half of the year, and perhaps then in August I can plant them into the final space, because I'm still not sure if I'm going to put all of them in the cottage garden area or will I put some into the rose garden as well. So at least this way they can start growing, and obviously if they flower during the summer this year as they are in the pots, it's absolutely fine, and at least then I can plant them out in August. I don't really want to put them into any kind of soggy wet ground, because I do need to improve the drainage wherever they go into. So this time of the year is not the year to go digging around in the garden. So I'm going to want to put them in the pots just in case we get any more colder weather, because they have been sitting here all along, and they have little shoots coming up. So they're cute like that. I'll see if I can show them to you. They're fine bulbs. But yeah, they have these little shoots popping up already. So they're showing every sign that they're ready to grow. You see even the roots under this bulb there. So in one packet I have 2 packets of Purple Sensation, and this is like a mix. But it's a mix of Purple Sensation, Purple Rain and Mount Everest. So the Mount Everest will be the white one. I think the Purple Rain is going to be the paler purple, and then the dark purple is going to be the Purple Sensation. Okay, that's that. Now I also still have a packet of Tete-a-Tete, and that's not the double, that's the plain variety. I have a packet of them still here as well, but I do want to plant them directly into the fruit tree guild. I do want to have a few daffodils popping up from that area. But I don't think that's still going to be today, considering the frozen ground, so that has to be put off for another day. But yeah, I'll get my seeds sown and I'll put up the Comfrey cuttings, the alliums, and then I think we'll go outside and do the harvesting as well. And I've also noticed that the macho roots, or those little immature roots, they weren't proper tubers yet, that I potted up after I harvested the bigger parts of it. There's little tiny leaves of it. So that's a good sign, because the yukon rhizomes also that I kept aside after harvesting the yukon, I potted them up but kept it in the utility in the house. There is fantastic leaf growth on it. Now maybe a little bit even too good of a leaf growth, but I just did not want to leave it in here in the greenhouse. I don't really have any space in the garage either yet, or safe storage space, so the utility was going to be my coolest area of the house, and that's where they went. But at least they have fully survived, so I can think of a maybe better system, better idea for them for next season. Right, let's do the comfrey first. I'm not going to be any bit fancy about it. I'm just going to take these little black pots. They're nearly half filled with compost. I'm going to pop each of those root cuttings into them and cover with more soil or the compost. And that's it. and I don't sieve the compost or anything. So I have all the comfrey potted up now. Nothing fancy about it, as I said, just a bit of soil and the piece of the root into it and cover it with soil. And obviously do label. That is actually one of my New Year's resolutions. Again, I don't really do them, but to be labeling plants or pots or whatever, labeling. Now, I highly recommend getting some comfrey in your garden, regardless how big or small your garden is. Now, obviously, ideally you would get the sterile variety, so it won't spread for you. It's going to be more contained, because once you have comfrey in the garden, it isn't going to be that easy to eradicate it. That's mainly to do because comfrey has a really deep taproot that goes down to the deepest levels of soil, a bit like horseradish, if you've ever come across horseradish and trying to dig it up. The beauty is in that taproot, the taproot that goes so deep in the ground, and obviously then it brings those nutrients up from those lower levels that other plants just cannot reach, and it stores it in its stems, it stores it in its leaves, and then you can just keep repeatedly harvesting those leaves and use them as mulch, make your own fertilizer out of it. You definitely can make that plant work for yourself. So the only fear is if it is the standard or common comfrey, that it can why can I never say that? Self-seed in an area. Now, I do have to thank one of my viewers, an Irish viewer, who put me in touch or gave me the name of the supplier of the Bucking 14, because I found it impossible otherwise to source it in Ireland, and obviously ever since Brexit, impossible to get stuff from UK. So when I had given up all the hope, I did order a packet of just common comfrey seeds, and I sowed them. I sowed them on 3rd of September, and obviously some of them have come true as well. But I had always been really apprehensive about them, as I haven't obviously repotted them or anything ever since they came up. Actually, they're covered with greenfly. That's not good. Well, that just shows how much the wildlife loves this plant. But no, it's not good that there's greenfly, because this is a greenhouse. We don't want greenfly in here. So what I'm going to do now with these is, obviously I'm not going to be planting them up, because I have this the Bucking 14 option now, but I'm going to harvest the leaves and I'm just going to add them to the compost. Actually, that's just another additive to compost. Comfrey leaves will be absolutely amazing, because again, once they compost down, all the nutrients will go back into the soil. So as another great place to use it. But if I would get this now out of its pot to show you, obviously the pot is good and solid now. It's a really thick yogurt pot. I'll just show you what the root system looks like. And obviously trying to make sure I don't break up any of the taproot, because that would be immediately propagating it again. So this is a small seedling, but already there's a real solid root system on it, and it's really hard inside here as well. It feels really rigid. So this is full of this solid taproot. It just has sort of zigzagged itself, finding a place to escape this pot, or just looking for more space for itself. So, but I'm going to, yeah, so I can harvest these leaves, and then I'm going to have to try to kill this root system. But yeah, anyway, so I'm not going to be planting this into the garden anymore. I have an option B, which really was my option A. But there you go, it's possible to grow it from seed. but no, I don't have to. Right, and I'll quickly pot up the alliums as well then, just to get them in these same pots, little ones, but I won't bore you with that. Onion. You want some onion? Now all the seeds are sown and I got the bulbs planted up as well, and then the comfrey obviously. So we'll just have a very quick look around the kitchen garden here. I won't do like a proper garden tour or anything, but we'll just have a quick look. Then I have to do the harvest of the Brussels sprouts and then a bucket of potatoes as well. There are areas that are still frosted, just especially in these corners. Anything that didn't get proper sunlight, obviously, but even in here where the kale and cabbage are, that's still all frozen as well, so it is really solid. And these are the spring cabbages, so you see the size difference between the spring cabbages outside here and then what was inside the greenhouse. Now the blueberry bushes here aren't minding any of the cold weather, so there's a lot of, I can see actually new growth coming out now. The buds are starting to open, even though I would wish they would stay closed because we could get a very cold weather front still. We don't know which way the weather is going to turn for us. And obviously I've been observing this pit here now. So this is the section that I dug out at the very end of last year. I assume it was even in December. And it is pooling water on the very bottom, and the water is staying probably a day or so, but then it does disappear. So that's a good sign. But at least the excess of the very base here is draining away naturally, which is really important, even though there's loads of clay still there. But at least the base is draining away, so it means that any new mix of soil mix I put in here has to have a really good drainage in it. And that's going to be the new asparagus bed. Purple sprouting broccoli and Brussels sprouts in here, which I'm going to definitely take a couple of the stalks out. They're well gone over now. Now in these beds there is not that much growing either at the moment. Still some pots which I'm a little bit worried about now that they've been exposed to this cold. So obviously in small pots they can freeze through and through. Now some of the tulips are starting to come out, showing themselves. Which one are you? Angelique. Angelique is coming out. With the garlic beds. Nothing out of that bed yet, and in here the outer has come out, so there's garlic out of this one, but not from the middle. The elephant garlic would have been planted in the middle, that isn't out yet, but there is growth out of one of the varieties. they... How are you back already? Huh? How are you back already? That was so fast. Like I literally threw it across the fence and everything. Yeah? Okay, show off. So, see now, these are the potatoes. They're lovely size, first of all, and obviously they're re-sprouting, but they're also really solid and firm. Yeah, next to quite a large ball. Yeah, that's good, because this is bigger than a standard tennis ball. But there's a good, good amount in here. Again, I don't have a tray to put them into. Yep, okay. So really, if I wanted to, I could just start growing them now straight away into fresh pots. And there's roots on all of these stems, because obviously the potatoes grow upwards, so they start sending out new shoots from the sides here. Okay, let's get something. Oh, that's good. Look at them. 3 together. Because the sun is going down on us. We've been outside for a while now. So I have no idea what flavour these potatoes are. I've never grown them before either. But I think actually against the blight that was here now this year and terribly affected the potatoes, the main crop potatoes, I think this variety was quite resistant to it. And if I'd want to keep my own seed now from this bucket, like obviously I'm not going to be saving one of these kind of a big sized tubers that have a massive sprout on them. But these guys are perfect. Absolutely perfect. So looking at this tray, this looks like one of the better harvests out of all of the other main crop harvests I've done so far. So really interested to see what's going to come out of them. But yeah, as I see that the outcome is so good, I'm definitely going to leave myself a couple of those small guys, because in those 30-litre buckets I would have put 2 small, or like 2 seed potatoes into each bucket. I think 2 or 4. Again, I'll check that. I'll put that on the screen for you. And yeah, I'm definitely going to keep some of them back for myself. They look nice, they look really healthy, really clean. Let me wash them and show them to you clean as well. So here we go, I've cleaned them up a bit. I have this tray, and then I have all my Brussels sprouts. They're a little bit manky, but they need to be cleaned up, and there's still plenty of goodness in them. And they're quite tall, you see, as well, so there's some that are a bit better, the others are a bit worse, but there's 4 I was able to take down. They were so slanty, they're gone over, as I said. So, and I got a couple of the purple sprouting broccoli as well. But thank you so much for joining me. The sun is going down now, so I really have to get my harvest inside. Leave any comments, questions down below. I appreciate every one of you, every thumbs up, every comment, they all help. Yeah, we'll see you next time.